What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Do 2 Bet Daily, November 17, 2022. We got Aaron coming in from St. Louis. We got Magic rocking the blue Bombers hat, and we're going to start off with horse racing today because I'm actually going to go to Aqueduct race number 1 for my best bet of the day. And the doubles in race 1 and 2 are really interesting, so we're going to talk about that as well right off the top of the show. So I guess let's just jump right into it here. So my best bet is going to be Aqueduct race number 1. I'm going to play an ice cold exacta here, 5-2. To me, this is pretty simple. Look, Signal from Noise, the 5-horse, Kalleward, Chad Brown should win the race. It's going to be a short price. I think we're like 2-5, 3-5 on the board right now. But the second, third, and fourth priced horses are mispriced in my mind. The 3 and the 4 are your second and third choices. I think the 2 should be the second choice. 4 is going to be has a speed issue here, and I don't think can get the mile. And the 3 is going to be coming from further back than the 2. I think you have a much better shot of seeing improvement from the 2. Getting 9-1 on this exacta right now. So I think that's wildly off what it should be paying. So I'm going to play the 5-2 exacta cold in the first year. Aaron, I know you looked at this race. What do you think of the 5-2?
Good pick, Somich. I like it. I said the same thing about the 2 when I was handicapping this. I said that this is the horse that could improve. If anything, I think you might get beat by the 2 in this race. But at the same time, the 5 does look like a big-time standout. It'd be tough to beat. That should not be paying 9-1. No way should that be paying 9-1. I think it's a really good bet.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can start this day off with a bang. I don't think we've actually had a race go off here on the show, a best bet on the show. So we'll have that here at 12:20 post time, just 15 minutes away for this one. It's why we're kicking it off. We'll probably live still when it's going on. Another thing that's really interesting about this, and Magic, I know you haven't looked a ton at the second race here at Aqueduct, but the daily doubles are wildly out of whack in my mind. That the 6 horse is going to be a fairly heavy favorite in the second race at Aqueduct. I don't like this 6 at all. And you're seeing right now the double paying $3 to the 6 Shinful. So 5-6 is $3. Anything else is a good price on this second race. Did you have any leans here in the second at Aqueduct, Magic?
I was looking at the 8. I watched the replay real quick of when she debuted at Saratoga. And it was her first start. She was away slow and never got engaged. As a horse that, Ray Handel is doing really sharp right now at Aqueduct. He's 4 for 11 with 7 for 11 hitting the board, and she's 20-1. This is the time of year when it's good to play Dylan Davis a lot at Aqueduct on price horses, and I think that she's in a good spot here. I don't know if she's going to win necessarily, but if she at least, I think she definitely outruns her 20-1 odds. I don't know if you guys gave her any look.
I considered her, but I didn't end up using her. That's a $58 double. So a 1-2 shot into that 8 is paying $58 because of how heavily the 6 is being bet in the second race. Aaron, any opinion here, second race at Aqueduct?
What about the 7? I think this horse is one you can definitely play. It looks like one that certainly has a shot to win, especially now that the race has come off the turf. This horse, 2 races in a row on the dirt, got second, got third. It's not that strong of a field. It is a situation where, sure, the 6 could win, but that wasn't my top pick. And so there's no way you need to play that horse at a short price in this double. The 7, what'd you say was paying like 12-1 right now to the 7?
15-1 right now on the board with a 7.
Ridiculous if you don't throw just a little bit on something like that, or even Magic's horse. I mean, at 58-1, why not take a shot? I don't know why the 6 is being pounded like that. Obviously, the 5 makes a ton of sense to be pounded in this first race, right? Yeah. It looks like a huge standout. Here, no way. I love the 7 there for that double. And listen, the 7 can definitely going to improve the chances getting back to the dirt here.
What about the 12, Spooky Lady? 5-1. This is a horse with Bob Baffert. Goes to the Rudy Rod barn. He's been doing well, but especially when Jose Gomez has been up the bug. I think the 12 might take that field gate to wire in the second. You're getting 15-1 on the 5-12 exacta. So, or 5-12 daily double first in the second race. Do you have any interest in the 12, Aaron?
Yeah, I thought about the 12 a little bit. Looked at that one pretty hard. It is a Baffert horse that they obviously said, we're not good enough to run in this Baffert barn, so we're going to move over here. So at least they've got the horse in a spot, where it can win. Now, if it does, I don't know. I don't necessarily love that pose position, but you're right. I mean, it does kind of force the hand of the bug to say, hey, just go and forget it. Whatever happens, happens. And if you fall on a pace that maybe is not quite as fast as what, you might imagine, yeah, you can take this field gate to wire. It's a 6 furlong race too, so outside posts don't mean as much when you're going short in those sprints. Kind of speed and fade has been the equation for this horse, or kind of not the equation, but the trend for this horse. So we'll see if that kind of can change. You would think Baffert might be able to fix that if anybody. So that's kind of the downside of it. But again, it's a horse that should not be paying 15-1 on the double.
I also sprinkled a little 5-2, which is 48-1 right now. Two horse, a little bit more of a long shot. Second time out, True Martini for Michael Marcelli. You get Trevor McCarthy aboard. I think this horse can be better on dirt, to be honest with you. So I think this is a positive thing to get off the turf for this two horse. We'll see if that pans out as well. Or Magic, anyone else you want to throw out here in the doubles since this 5 is paying crazy with these doubles in the second race?
No, the 12 was the other one. It's interesting too to note, this horse was with McCarthy and then with Baffert, was never higher than 3-2. So it was favored twice and didn't perform, but the people saw something that they liked. It wasn't just that Baffert was getting blindly bet. The horse, people thought they saw something there. So, it was a former Pegram Watson Whiteman horse, but the 12 was the other one I wanted to touch on.
So definitely an opportunity to take advantage of here in the doubles. None of us like the 6 Shinful in the second race, and you're seeing some monster payouts through a favorite that I think we all are pretty confident in here in the first race. I'm playing, like I said, the 5-2 Exacta is my best bet. That was 9-1 when the show started. I'll pull it up now. Still paying 9-1 on the 5-2. And you're getting 4-1 and 5-1 on the 5-3 and the 5-4. So just mispriced there in my mind on those Exactas. Hopefully we can take advantage of it, get a nice little $900 winner to kick off the day and roll it right into the doubles. All right, let's jump over to some of the games we're going to cover here. First off, we got Thursday night football here. We got the Titans heading into Green Bay and the Packers off of a comeback win against the Dallas Cowboys. The Titans just keep on rolling, and they're a fraud. But at this point, they're going to win that division. There's no way they lose it. Aaron got 3 points. Packers are laying 3 at home tonight. Total sitting at 40.5. Any interest in betting this game?
I've told you several times, your Titans take before the season was spot on correct. They're not any good. But the one thing that I don't think, you probably factored it in, but you didn't think the schedule would be this bad. It's so bad. There's nobody in the division that can even put one foot in front of another. And that's ruined kind of your take on, hey, they're going to go under these totals. That being said, they aren't very good. The Packers got a little something going last week. I really like the Packers tonight. I think Tennessee's abysmal. I think on the road on a Thursday night game with the Packers coming off a win against the Cowboys and they at least have a little bit of life again. And when you look at that last wild card spot in the NFC, the Packers are really right there with a great shot at it if they can get going. I like the Packers a lot tonight. I think they're going to roll the Titans.
Yeah, a really interesting article on ESPN by Bill Barnwell today talking about lucky and unlucky teams. The Titans were ranked number 1 as the luckiest team based off of what's happened for a variety of reasons. First off, the schedule, the Colts just sucking for no reason. Yep. The offensive line completely regressing. Jacksonville cannot get out of their own way, even though they're probably the most talented team in that division. But the one that really jumped out at me, the EPA for the Tennessee Titans on offense outside of the red zone is 29th in the NFL, third worst. EPA in the red zone, number 1. Best red zone team in the NFL, clicking off at 77% at touchdown rate. They only get in the red zone 2.3 times per game, worst in the NFL, but they're the best when they get there. It's just absolutely wild that you have those type of stats with just the complete flips inside and outside of the 20. But when they get in the red zone, they're effective. They score touchdowns, and that makes a massive, massive difference. Magic, Packers, Titans here. Any interest in the game?
I'm not betting it, but I'd be really curious to see what happens with Aaron Jones because the Titans defense, like the run defense has been really stingy. Looking at the stats, I know Aaron Jones kind of everything revolves around him and their offense. If they can get him going with, short little drop-offs or something like that, maybe they can get going. I'm really hoping this doesn't turn into an ugly game, but Thursday night football has been kind of ugly a lot. And if you've got a team that needs their running back to keep the offense going, faces a very strong defense, especially you just laid out those red zone stats, Mike. I would lead the under here unless you think that maybe Aaron Jones just somehow breaks free, like as a receiver. I know he can be a receiving back, but I don't know. I would go with the under on this.
Yeah, I almost played first half under as my best bet here. 20 total sitting at 20 or 20.5, depending where you're shopping. When you look at the running back carry as expected, so that the Henry's total is 22.5, up from all the way from 17.5 at one point yesterday to 21.5, now 22.5. The Packers are expected to run the ball 27.5 times based on the numbers that are out there right now. That's a lot of running here. And I would expect in a cold game where you're going to probably have some weather issues, you're going to want to keep this close if you're both teams. Neither wants to get out of hand. Neither wants to have to throw the ball to come back. I expect a pretty conservative first half here. I actually think Henry's going to have success running the football where the Packers may struggle. I would lean toward the Packers. I'm not going to bet this side, but I like your take on the under, Magic. I do think that's probably the better shot there to take a chance. And I think Rob M brings up a good point. Vrabel is just a phenomenal coach. When he has a shitty team and he's coaching against a shitty team, they always win. And that's really the difference in why they've been able to get this record where it is right now at 6-3. Cannot wait to bet against them, though, in the first round of the playoffs. I'll be very excited when they play someone good.
Can I throw out one player to watch that I think is a real key for Green Bay? Because we've talked about it. They have no targets. They have no weapons. Christian Watson last week, he looked like he could be that guy. Can he do it again? Because if he actually had the look of a guy that might be coming on, and it's not just a one-hit wonder. If he can do that again, all of a sudden Green Bay kind of starts to be that team that, okay, now we have a weapon. And Magic mentioned Jones. Okay, he's there. He's been there, right? Now we have another guy to go with him. And we've got, Rodgers all of a sudden's got a guy that he can go to. I think he is a huge key to them. Can he do it again? Can he become that guy?
Yeah, I had bet on it. Before the season, they were saying that Watson had the ability to kind of break out as a rookie wide receiver candidate here. 0 touchdowns coming to the last game, had 2 big plays, 2 big touchdowns. Rodgers clearly starting to trust him a little bit more. He's had some drop issues, but if he can come through, that obviously makes a huge difference for this offense. They mentioned, we had someone mention this in the chat here. Cold games, Rodgers and Green Bay have been very, very good at home. See if they can continue that tonight. Going to be an interesting matchup there. We've got an interesting matchup in college football as well. We've got SMU heading into number 21, Tulane. Tulane 8-2, SMU 6-4. The line's only 3.5. I was kind of surprised this one was sitting at just 3.5. I've bet and watched SMU games a couple times this year. Tulane seems like a better team, Aaron. Are you surprised it's just 3.5?
I think Tulane, people might be thinking, hey, they got a little bit exposed last week. Maybe they didn't play, quite up to the standards that we thought they were. But listen, this game, sure, I'm taking Tulane. I think SMU is just way up and down. You never really know what you're going to get from them defensively. They've had a lot of problems. Now, offensively, they can score. I'm with you, though. I like Tulane in this spot. I think the early, or the quick turnaround game, I should say, favors the home team most of the time. That's Tulane tonight. I think they kind of bounce back from a tough loss against Central Florida. I do not think SMU is as good as Central Florida. So, yeah, I like Tulane tonight. I am surprised that the total or that the line is that narrow.
I think it's a good spot for Tulane on the bounce back as well. Yeah, a tough loss at home, but being back home on a Thursday night game gives you the chance to get a crowd right behind you immediately. Should be a pretty raucous environment since this is really going to be the only thing going on there. So we'll see if Tulane going to be able to pull it off. Magic, any thoughts on SMU Tulane?
The running game is going to be interesting because I was looking at the stats here that Tulane allowed 336 rushing yards last week, which was a lot, 136 more than they'd ever allowed in the season. You've got a team coming with SMU where they have 2 running backs that each had 112 yards rushing last week. So they were facing South Florida. It sounds like you guys aren't very high on that team, but just be curious to see what maybe that the running, like the high rushing total that they had last week, SMU, maybe that's why the line is a little bit narrower.
Yeah, they really struggled with the run option there last week, specifically the quarterback. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Absolutely shredded him for Central Florida, especially in the first half. I think he had like 150 yards in the first half, something crazy like that.
Their defense had been great before that game, too. That's the thing, and I think that's why Papa Dude was leaning towards them because they thought they'll stop them, and then they'll be able to score enough on Central Florida's defense that's just okay. They got shredded in that game, absolutely shredded.
Yeah, total sitting at 65. If Tulane's defense shows up, that's high. If they don't, that's really low. So this is one where I might watch the first quarter and then play some in-game over or under depending on how Tulane's defense plays against this SMU offense.
Yep.
All right, let's head to the NHL here. Aaron going to go with a best bet. Guess who it is? You never could guess based on that jersey. But let's talk about the Avalanche again, playing the Hurricanes again. How are the Avalanche and the Hurricanes playing each other again? They're the opposite conferences. It feels like this is the 4th time they played in the young season. They're playing in Carolina tonight. It should be a barn burner of a game. Right now, Carolina -125. You catch the Avs +105 on the money line. Magic, who you like here, the Avs or the Canes?
I'd go with the Avs. Georgiev has looked the few times I've seen Carl, Georgiev has looked so good. And if he's in net anytime, that's a goalie right now. I'm going to take him. I'll just blindly take him right now. He's looking so good.
Yeah, the Avs have seemed to turn it around a little bit, Aaron. They struggled at the start of the season. Now you're seeing that offense start to really kick in. Gotten some good goaltending, as Magic mentioned. But this Hurricanes team, I think these are probably the best 2 teams in the NHL, if I'm being honest. I think this is a possible Stanley Cup Finals matchup. Who do you like here, Aaron? And why are you shaking your head? Who's better than them? Oh, jeez.
Right here. Who beat them a couple nights ago on at their home barn? The Blues. The Blues went in there and beat them. I'm watching the best team in hockey tonight, but if you want to talk about these other two slubs, I'm taking Carolina. I think Carolina gets the job done tonight. I think they'll be able to keep that top line in check for Colorado. I'll say this. I think Colorado is still the team to beat without any question, if we're getting serious for a minute, but I don't think they have that depth that can roll out 4 dangerous lines like they had last year. That's what made them so tough. You shut down the first line, that second and third line will come right at you, and you got your second and third defensive pairs out there, and they're like, oh, shit, these guys are first line type guys. They don't have that depth quite yet, and I think that's going to be a big key. We know Carolina so much. We've talked about them so much on the show. You're a fan of Carolina. They're your second team after the Blues. They can shut you down. They have got a very good shutdown line. They've got very good defensemen, solid goaltending. I think they'll keep those first 2 lines in check for Colorado. I'll take Carolina tonight. I think it'll be a really good game, though. If I wasn't going to see the best team in hockey tonight, that's the game I'd want to go to, Carolina and Colorado. But for me, I am going to see the best team in hockey, so it's okay.
Total sitting at 6. I kind of like the under. I think that this is one of those where Carolina slows it down, tries to shut down Colorado. Magic mentioned Colorado's goalie. You mentioned the fact that they're not rolling the same lines out. I think the under 6 here might be the play.
If it goes under 6, I think Carolina wins the game.
I would agree. Low-scoring games would tend to favor them in this spot. Yeah. All right, let's head to our race of the day. And for the second time in a row, we're going to go to Churchill, race number 9. Race 8 is the feature on the card, but race 9 is so much more interesting. 5 furlongs here, non-winners of 1 allowance, really, really deep contention, a boatload of speed, but can you really trust the speed to collapse going just 5 furlongs? Magic, we were talking about this before. You've got an Asmussen first against winners here who's going to go off as a fairly heavy favorite, probably the fastest horse, but 100% will take a lot more pressure today than he did last time. Who do you like here in the 9th at Churchill?
I've been going back and forth, and actually, I'm going to land on the 2 Improbable Journey for Larry Jones. The horse can be second off the layoff, but not only that, a big key reunites with Gabe Saez, and 3-back Gabe Saez got on the horse. That was the closest the horse ever came to winning. Got second behind the next out winner. Comes back, cuts back to 5.5 furlongs, so the closest to 5 as possible. Goes gate to wire against from the inside, from the rail, in an 11-horse field. He's in the second post. There's still a big field. It's the same setup to me. You had the first and second place winners from that Churchill allowance, which is first off the layoff. They both won back. So I think that this horse is going to be really sneaky, reuniting with Gabe Saez now that we got rid of the Frenchman. We've got a good jockey back aboard. I think the 2 is going to be really sneaky here, guys.
Aaron, Scully looked great winning first off the layoff. 3-year-old by Practical Joke, $250,000 horse for Asmussen, but is facing winners for the first time. Did you go with Scully on top, or did you try and get a little creative here?
Good pick by Magic to take that 2 horse. That's one to definitely use in this spot. I think that horse is going to have a big-time chance. However, we're going Steve Asmussen on top, Magic. I'm sorry. We're going number 5, Skelly. Shout out to Papa Dude. He's not here today, but you know he would have taken Skelly as well, the Asmussen lover. Okay, here's the deal on Skelly and why I think this horse is pretty darn good. The race last time out was over this track, got out in front and just blew him away. I actually think the cutback is going to be even better for this horse. And I think, yeah, there is some other speed in this race. I think he is the speed of the speed. I think he'll keep going. I really like Practical Joke as a sire for these sprinters. So I think Skelly's the real deal. I think he'll have a pretty good shot to take this field gate to wire today. I think he's the speed of the speed, Somich. I think he's going to get out in front. But I do like Magic's pick quite a bit. That 2 horse is going to be tough for Jones.
Your father was not the only one who was 1-9 to pick that horse. You were as well. I called it before you got on the show. Magic and I both knew you were going to end up with Asmussen there. Give me the number 9 B-Sud here. 3-year-old by Jimmy Creed. I think I want a horse that is speed, but not on the pace. And so for me, I'm looking for a horse that's going to sit right behind this possible 5 or 6 horse battle up front, especially going 5. I don't want a full collapse here because it's 5 furlongs. It's tough to get a full collapse. But I do want someone who's just a little bit off it. I think B-Sud really fits that bill. Has a nice freshening coming back here. Ran well in the 2 races at Oakland Park and Keeneland, but now we got a 6-month break. I like the workout, specifically the one 2-back, breezing out of the gate, 48 for 4 furlongs. If we can get the right trip with B-Sud here, I think you got a big shot here sitting at 9-1. We had a couple people in the chat mention the Maker horse, the 8 back to normal. Magic, you like the 7 Sparty Sense a little bit. You want to talk about that one sitting on the board at 12-1, Luis Saez?
Yeah, that's if you look at the horse when he was second off of the layoff back in the spring, cutting back from 6 furlongs to 5.5. Horse went gate to wire from the inside. You're getting Luis Saez aboard as a great gate jockey, which is a great jockey overall, but definitely a jockey you want on a horse with this kind of speed. He's going to be second off the layoff after facing a really tough horse in Strobe last time out. I mean, Strobe was 38 cents on the dollar to win. We were talking about the betting. The odds were so inflated on so many horses. So ignore the 64-1. Weren't really accurate of the horse's talent. And yeah, second off the layoff, late in this 4-year-old season, watch out for the 7.
Yeah, one of only 2 4-year-olds in the race, filled with a massive amount of 3-year-olds here. 9 3-year-olds, 2 4-year-olds. Other 4-year-old be Dark Timber, the 6th horse. Aaron, did you have any interest in either of the makers?
No, I really think the horse you mentioned, Somich, and the horse Magic mentioned at first, and then Skelly. That's the 3. I think you can get away with going 3 deep in this spot. Look, I think the other horse that's a little bit interesting to me, if you want to take a flyer, is the number 6, Dark Timber, that you just mentioned. I think this horse getting back to that 5 furlong distance, I think it's going to help. I think it's a horse that can kind of get out there and is the other speed. And so if the 5, the experience kind of just gets to him, the 6 is all of a sudden going to be out there, right? So I think that's the one you're going to run down. So if you're going to go past those top 3 that we kind of mentioned, I think Dark Timber is kind of the one to look at.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting 9th race. I'm excited to see how this one plays out. I think this was an interesting choice for race of the day. These Thursdays and Wednesdays are a little tough to find a good race, but I think this is an excellent betting race, especially if you want to try and get around Skelly. And if you don't, I think there's prices you can play underneath in either the exactas or the tries to make it a little bit interesting. So there's the race of the day. Best bets, real quick. Mine is about to go off at Aqueduct. I'm playing the 5-2 exacta in the first race. Still getting 9-1 on this one right now. It is not getting bet down. Was the 5-4 and the 5-3 both getting bet down. So hopefully we can get that one home. All right, let's talk a little bit about Papa Dude's best bet. He's going with a little combo action here, taking the Michigan Wolverines, a big winner last night, playing again tonight against a team that played a close game last night. So he likes Michigan, and he's going to parlay it into Tampa, who's at home against Calgary. Aaron, any interest here in you playing either of these games?
Calgary Tampa Bay game is going to be really, really good as well. I think that's going to be the one. The Michigan game, I think he's going to get. I don't know what's happening to Magic, but the Calgary game. What happened?
The 2's not even in the race. The 2 walked out and just quit.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's not good.
No, that's less than ideal.
How's the 5 doing?
Like the chiclet's not even on the screen.
Yeah. The 5's in the good spot, and like the 3 is a lot closer than expected. But like the 5 should win easy here, but the 2 is nowhere to be found.
Maybe the 2's a late closer today.
Well, let's hope so. Oh, geez. Now the 3 just got a beautiful rail trip too. What a mess here from Aqueduct.
Was the 5 even going to win?
I mean, the 5 still should win from where it is, but the 3 is going to be a challenge now.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, Aaron. Anyway, Papa Dude going with Michigan and the Lightning.
Yeah.
Aaron, tell us about your best bet here.
Well, I'm sitting right across the street from Busch Stadium, about 3 blocks from the Enterprise Center. I'll be at the game tonight against the Washington Capitals. Blues Capitals, you know it. I'm going with the Blues. Listen, we've won 4 in a row. And if you remember last week, Mike Somich said the Blues are done. Papa Dude said the Blues are done. They wrote them off. And I slowed them down and I said, guys, we're going to rip off 5 in a row. We're going to get back to 8-8, and things are going to be fine. Guess what? What happened, Magic? Who won?
Let's keep going. The race isn't over yet, but it's.
This is just gonna piss me off.
It's a 6-horse field, and the 2 got 4th.
Oh, so he rallied.
He only missed the 3 by 4 lengths too after that start. Unbelievable.
Wow.
They turned the corner, and all of a sudden I saw him. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna hit the board.
Wow.
Freaking break.
Sorry.
All right, Aaron, tell us about this.
Anyway, Somich wrote us off. Papa Dude wrote us off. Supposedly big fans wrote us off. Said we're going to trade O'Reilly soon. Tarasenko's going to get traded. And I said, look, we're going to win 5 in a row. We're going to be back to 8-8. And at that point, we'll be a point out of the playoffs or so. And we got the whole season ahead of us. What's happened? We've won 4 in a row since that show. We're now 7-8. And now we can go to 8-8 and win 5 in a row and get right back into things tonight. Listen, the biggest problem tonight, we probably will not start Jordan Bennington. We played last night in Chicago, won 5-2. Bennington's not going to start. We're probably going to go with Tommy Grease, who is 0-3.
Is he good?
He's not very good. We do have to take on Ovechkin, Oshie, Lars Eller, all those guys that can put the puck in the net. That is going to be the biggest problem tonight. I think the Blues will play pretty good. I think it helps that the Blues kind of dominated the game last night in Chicago. Probably didn't have to give their best effort. So the skaters out there will be probably pretty fresh for a back-to-back game. Also, don't forget, Washington has been down in Florida playing. They've been playing every other night. I don't think they're going to be just real in tune tonight either from a physical standpoint. So I think if Grease plays well, the Blues win. I think the price is right. I think it's minus 150 if Binnington plays tonight the way he's been playing. We got to hope the goalie comes through for us. I have faith. I think he's going to do it. He's due to win one since he hasn't won one all year. So we're going to go St. Louis minus the 110. We're going to try to get this home. We're going to try to get that 5th win in a row. I'm
going to continue the reverse jinx. Bad pick. Washington big tonight.
Good. Yes. Stay on the train. The bandwagon, the door is shut for you and Papa Dude. You're not getting back on this bandwagon.
I will stay off it just so they keep winning. I like the over tonight. I think you're going to see quite a few goals. Grice or whatever the hell his name is, not very good. And the Blues have actually been able to put the biscuit in the basket the last couple of days. So I think you might see an over game there, specifically with the backup goalie for St. Louis. Magic. Blues going to win tonight?
For Aaron, I hope they do. If Tommy Grice is in net, God help you. He's got an almost 4 goals against average, like an 82% save percentage, and you've got Ovi coming into town.
Listen, I told Heather on the way up, we didn't know who was going to play last night yet as we were driving up. I said, we're playing the Hawks tonight, the Blackhawks. We got to probably start Binnington. You got to try to beat the rival. We were on the road. I said, I can't argue with the thought of process of playing Binnington tonight, but please, I hope they don't play Binnington tonight. And of course they do. He played really good last night. Listen, you get what you get, right? He's due to win a game. So maybe,
He's due to win a game. There's the cap. By the way, that exacta went off at 13-1. I'm so pissed right now about that damn break.
3-1, 13-1, 300-1. It's a loss.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So is this minus 110 bet today. What are you gonna do? All right, that's all we got for today. Let's check out the best bets, which are not so fun right now. We have Papa Dude taking the Lightning and Michigan plus 136. Aaron taking the Blues minus 110. My exacta lost at Aqueduct because the two missed the frickin' break. We're now 0-3 down $320. The year up $859. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow. What is tomorrow? It's a Friday. So we'll be back in tomorrow on Friday, same time, same place for some best bets and some horse racing action. Good luck with whatever you are playing today.